Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for your patience and joining us here at Minnesota Fire Hire. My name is Jerry, and tonight I'm with Natalie, Minnesota's newest firefighter. So I want to take a minute, Natalie, and have you introduce yourself. Tell us
Yeah.
who you are, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, thanks for having me. My name is Natalie Strike. I am 23 years old, a recent graduate from the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire, and I just graduated Fire Academy this past Thursday. My professional job is a social media coordinator.
All right. A social media coordinator, what does that do? And how did you become a firefighter?
Yeah, so my job pretty much all day is to create online content, and I post it on Facebook, Instagram. I have some YouTube videos out there for a company I work for, and it actually led me to become a firefighter because my demographic that I reach is firefighters. So I thought to myself, and I talked to my boss, and I said, I can't really reach firefighters if I don't know what they do for a job. So I went to Fire Academy.
So you are not affiliated as a firefighter.
Not currently,
You
no.
did it to learn how to better market a firefighter.
Yep.
Oh, cool. So how was that? What was your experience? You knew for a while that you were going to go into the fire academy,
Yes.
but what was your experience doing that? Was it scary?
Yes, going into it, I was very nervous just because all my classmates have known that they wanted to do this their whole life. So I know that they were going to be very dedicated. I'm a very dedicated person as well, but it wasn't a passion of mine when I first started. So for me, it was scary, and I learned, and I do now love being a firefighter.
So when you went into the class, did you go there as a marketer and just sit there and watch, or did you actually participate, like do exactly what the students were doing? Did you wear gear, all that stuff?
Yep. So I wore the same uniform. I had my own gear that I borrowed from a fire department, and I did everything exactly the same as a firefighter.
Okay.
So I'm just as qualified.
So what type of classes do they teach in the fire academy? I mean, is it about all fire and saving lives, or what is it all about?
Yeah. So actually, before we started, I thought that's what it was going to be. I thought that it was mostly going to be hands-on, going into a ton of fires, but I didn't know that firefighters actually have 3 textbooks sitting behind them at all times.
Yeah.
We have Firefighter 1, we have Firefighter 2, we have Hazmat. So it was a lot of lectures, reading, and then hands-on.
Okay, Fire 1 is like what? It's sort of elementary school.
Yep.
But what's in there? What components would you expect in that class?
So Firefighter 1 is pretty much, Pride and Honor was our first class with Chief Strike, actually. And then we went into ladders, hose rolls. We did just basic stuff, putting on our gear, learning how to use the SCBA mask and pack.
Okay, SCBA means?
Self-contained breathing apparatus.
All right, what is that? What is that?
Yeah, so that's how you breathe in a fire. So you have your mask and you have it connected to your SCBA pack. It is not oxygen that is in there, which is important to say because a lot of people actually get that mixed up.
Yeah. So climbing ladders, I mean, that's pretty simple, right? You just climb a ladder, and firefighters are known for their ladders. But,
yeah, you would think it would be easy, but you actually have 75 extra pounds on you when you're wearing your full gear and SCBA pack. So it kind of throws you off a little bit. You have to learn how to adjust your weight. It's very different than just climbing a regular painter's ladder.
And how did you get that ladder up there? I mean, you just, you go, hey, grab a ladder and you go throw it against the wall, or what?
Yep. So they pretty much, the best way to learn, in my opinion, is exactly how I was taught in Fire Academy, and it's just to do it. Yeah. So these 2 arms are what put that ladder up, and then me and my classmates did it together.
All right, but there are some ladders that have multiple flies in them that require teamwork.
Oh, yeah.
Is the fire service a solo event, or is it a team event?
Nope, it's a team event. And one thing that I learned in Fire Academy is it's always 2 in, 2 out, and it's just a buddy system. You're always together.
Okay.
No one's ever alone in a fire.
Well, that's nice. Yeah. Unlike law enforcement, which is sort of like a single resource, fire service is more driven towards teams, it sounds like. Okay. What about hose, spray all the water, but that was a fun class.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So actually, when we were learning how to use hoses, we played a game called Water Ball. And you have this big barrel that's in between, kind of like just a line that's hanging. And you have 2 teams, and you trying to figure out my hands. You run towards each other with the hose. You don't spray each other because that would be very painful, but you hit the barrel and you have to move it to the other person's side.
Yeah.
So when I first went on and I was the first one up going to use this hose, I actually pretty much flew backwards because I didn't realize how much force comes out with the hose.
Yeah, a lot of pressure comes out of that engine and forces the water through a column and can take you back. Yeah.
Thank goodness I had one of my friends there because he was holding my back, but I seriously almost flew backwards.
Right. And how far does that throw? I mean, can you get past a couple cars? Or?
Oh yeah. Yep. It goes very far. It's a very long distance shot. So you could definitely, contain a fire just from being outside.
Right. Okay. Outside the equipment there, I'm sure there's discussion about what it takes to be a firefighter. I mean, what does it take? What is a firefighter all about? And what is the Minnesota Fire Service? All these old timers running around and buffing out and working out, or what is it all about?
So for me, being a firefighter is dedication because I went into it, like I said, just for my professional job. But you have to put in 176 hours just to qualify to be a firefighter for firefighter 1, 2, and hazmat. It's a lot of hands-on learning. It's dedication because you're time away from your family too when you're doing all of this training. So you just have to have the right mindset, and you can't tell yourself that you can't do something because when we were doing ladders, for example, I had to put up probably 120-pound ladder overhead by myself, and my instructor was telling me I could do it, but it's the mind obstacles in your head that's telling you, can I do this? I don't think I can. I have 75 pounds extra on me. Right. So it really is just dedication and mindset. Okay.
Well, you have a degree, a 4-year degree.
Yep.
And I think there might be this perception that you have to have a degree to become a firefighter at Minnesota. Do you need a degree?
No, you do not need a degree. A lot of people in my class actually didn't have degrees. They had full-time jobs, but they're doing jobs that didn't require a degree, and they're very smart. And our degree for fire is going to get this certification and then bettering yourself from there.
Right. So there is a fire science degree if you wanted to go down that road.
Yep.
But most of Minnesota is a paid on-call firefighter. So there's 20,000 firefighters in Minnesota. There's like 1,600 of them that actually have a full-time job doing it. So did you meet any cool people there? What was your makeup of your academy?
Yeah, so my makeup was Ham Lake. We had Centennial, we had St. Francis, Oak Grove.
So
they were
other
the best.
departments.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were the best. It was other departments, and we worked together, every Tuesday, Thursday, every other Saturday, and we became really close friends. It was super fun to be able to know that maybe if one day I'm in the field, I'll be able to see them and we can work together there too.
Yeah. Okay. How about studying? Does it require studying? What are you doing?
Yes.
It's not just going to the academy, going home and forgetting about it. You have to do something to stay informed. Right?
Yep. So the studying, like I said, behind every firefighter is probably 3 textbooks. It required a lot of textbook reading. You show up to every lecture. There shouldn't be, excuses with the dedication of missing, just because it is effective if you go, especially since most of it's hands-on. So, and then a lot of us actually got together outside of class and studied.
So it is like going to school.
It is like going to school, yep, but it's just a shortened period of time and you learn a lot.
Yeah. So did you feel safe in the academy?
Yes.
Or how did you feel safe?
Yeah.
What practices were put into place for that?
So our instructors have been firefighters for years, and they volunteer their time to teach us. So I felt very safe knowing that everything was pretty much controlled. So all of us were told, these are the risks. If you don't follow our instruction, that could hurt you. And everyone was very serious about that because nobody wanted to go home hurt. Right.
Because in the level 2, didn't you have to go into an actual fire?
Yes. Yep. We went into an actual fire. It was controlled by the Stacy Lent Fire Department. They offered their facility to us, and that was a cool experience.
Well, tell us about it.
Yeah.
People want to know.
So we just pretty much were in full gear. We went in with one instructor. It was a group of 3 or 4 people. I was lucky enough to be one of the first groups to go in. So I saw the fire start, and then they actually had it go up where the smoke kind of rolled over you, just to show you in fires, you really can't see. You have to know and feel out where you're going for search and rescue, and make sure that you're always on the hose, just to make sure that you have accountability and always talking. And in fires, you don't notice how your voice doesn't amplify through the masks at all, even with the amplifiers that are in the mask. So it was a really cool experience to be able to put everything that we had learned into place.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like fun. It was hot.
Hot.
You're wearing all that gear.
Hot. There's no air coming out of your gear at all.
Right.
So the sweat kind of just sticks on you, but it was kind of exciting.
Yeah. You had to drag a hose,
Yep.
right? You put the fire out.
Yep.
Cool. So what challenged you? What surprised you in this process that you weren't expecting?
I wasn't expecting my physical ability to be tested so much. I feel like I'm a very in shape person, but I noticed cardiovascularly, that's the term,
Respiratory. Yeah.
respiratory, that it was pushed a lot. Because like I said, the weight of the gear, you're in a fire, you have to learn how to control your breathing in the face mask.
Yeah.
That pushed me a lot and challenged me. And I feel like also the studying probably challenged me too. I mean, I just had graduated college, but this was something completely different, more chemistry that pushed me.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Over the years, you see these firefighters all buffed out, which is good because you need strength.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you had to pick up a saw, fans, all that big firefighter gear, but really it's that cardiorespiratory that needs to provide endurance for you. Because you have all this gear on, right? And you're tasked by your officers to get things done. You got to do it, right? People are relying on you.
Exactly.
Right. So what would you tell others about becoming a firefighter as a social media marketer? What's your message? What do you tell people who now say, "Hey, Natalie, how do I become a firefighter?"
Yeah. So my recommendation, you're at the right place right now if you're watching this live, because Chief Strike can connect you to your local fire department and your fire chief and get you applied to become a firefighter. You can visit their website, I know, and type in your address to find your local department. And I think if you're thinking about it, I think every firefighter will say this too, is just to do it. It's all mindset.
Yeah.
That if you feel like you can give back to your community and have the time to go through training, you should do it, because it was completely worth it. And I found a niche that I didn't know that I would have for firefighting.
Sort of exciting. Right? Gives you some purpose, right? And what did Chief Gerber tell us down in Eden Prairie about trying to figure out if this fits into your life? It has to what?
He said it has to fit into your top 4. So he gave an example that his top 4 is family, friends, and then he has an outside activity that he does, like golfing. And then the last thing should be firefighting. If it's in your top 4, it's right for you. Yeah,
because the community depends on only so many firefighters, right? If you go to Andover, there's 50 firefighters. If you go to Coon Rapids, there's 50 firefighters, So the community depends on their on-call members to show up when there's a community emergency. So anything else to share?
No. Should we see if there's any questions on our Facebook?
Well, let's see what we got. We've got our chat open. I don't see anything there. We're hoping this is even working. So let's see where we go here. We're going to go over here.
Oh, hi, John.
Hey, John's on. John Marshall. Yeah, John is a former, or he just graduated too, right?
Yeah. He used to be on St. Francis and he rejoined now that it fits back into his life. So thanks for joining, John.
Yeah, look at Ian. He says, you're right. You got to have that cardio and resistance training.
Yes, resistance training is definitely up there too.
Right. So, I'm 180 pounds, 5'10". I can scratch my back and move around and crawl through a hole. If you get into that big spot, it's hard to do it, right?
Yes.
It's hard to do it. And Dustin Brown says hello. And Alex says hi.
Alex, he's also a recent graduate.
All right, congratulations. Yeah, type in your information, guys. What is new for you? What did you learn that keeps people guessing, right? There are things that happened that probably surprised you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Minnesota Fire Hire is a firefighter-driven organization sponsored by the Minnesota State Fire Department Association, the oldest association representing firefighters in Minnesota. And the idea of Minnesota firefighters or Minnesota Fire Hire is to help you or anyone that wants to become a firefighter get information to become one. And they contact us through our social media sites, through our Facebook, or through direct contact on phone number. And then we connect you and link you through the processes and the chiefs you need to speak to get hired. I mean, it's free. It's all about filling our own lockers. So if you know of anyone interested in becoming a firefighter, let us know. If you want to become a firefighter, feel free to link up with us and we'll help you do that. No cost, simply for the effort of filling our lockers so that our communities can be served. All right. Anything to add, Natalie?
No, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thanks so much for being part of our team, and we look forward to talking to you again.
Thank
All right.
you.
See you later, everybody.